Honor has claimed the world's thinnest foldable title back, and it is, of course, the Magic V5. Now, this here is just a spoiler video, so if you want to see benchmarks, battery life, gaming, photo samples, unfortunately, none of us can show that at all. That will be coming at a later date, but what I will try and do is give you just that unboxing experience and talk a little bit about what I can here. The Magic V5, the world's thinnest foldable. Now the box simply states Magic V5, and yes, we don't have a Magic V4. They decided to skip this. I guess V4 didn't sound as cool or look as cool as V5. There we have our foldable, so I'm going to put that aside and we'll take a look at that shortly. But do we have a charger here? It looks like we probably don't. I can see case, information, SIM-tree tools right there, and cable. And that would suggest to me, oh, and the weight of it, yeah, okay, definitely no charger included. So we have our cable, so this is quite a long, is it Type-C to Type-C? It is, okay, all right, not Type-A to Type-C. And that is it. It looks like with this box, they have not given me the charger, and the case is not in there either. Now, that doesn't mean that the retail version might not actually come with that. We'll have to wait and see, because these are early units that Honor has sent out to us reviewers, tech websites, tech channels and whatnot. So far, it looks like the cable, paperwork, and the case charger could be region dependent. So look at this, the world's thinnest, as I mentioned there in the intro. Unfolded, it's just 4.1 millimeters. That is phenomenal. It looks like the big factor that's holding them back is this, the Type-C port. I mean, look at that. The difference there. And I think if they got rid of the Type-C port, I mean, making this all just wireless, they might be able to squeeze another millimeter out of this, but that's phenomenal. So metal frame feels very good. You can see loudspeakers there. We have two microphones down the bottom, the antenna lines. Hinge, very good. Does it spring open at the last few degrees? Yes, a little bit right there. And we'll take a look here. What do we got for buttons? So on the left, there is nothing here, just those antenna lines. Up the top, you can see the loudspeaker and a IR transmitter or maybe microphone right there. Buttons made out of metal, our power on capacitive fingerprint reader, and really, really nice build here. I've got the ivory white version here. So this is the lightest. It's just here, 217 grams. Phenomenal weight for a foldable. So to give you an idea on just how thin it is when unfolded, I have some standard bank cards, travel cards, credit cards, right? And you're looking at a thickness of about 4 of them there. So that is very, very thin. Phenomenal they've been able to do that and just cram in so much tech. Now, what I can tell you with the batteries, of course, there are 2 on either side of that. We are looking at 5,820 milliamp hours, typical size. And of course, that is silicon carbon. That's the only way they'll be able to get the batteries so thin and the weight of it. So Snapdragon 8 Elite, I think most people could have guessed that. RAM, I don't know. Storage configurations, unfortunately, no, we don't know that. And then the cameras, we have a periscopic camera. And how many times zoom is that? Unfortunately, can't mention that. It also 64 megapixels, an ultra wide that is 50, and our main camera that is 50 there. So looking quite potent in the camera department there. And I'll give you another closer look there. You can see it says AI Mage, and it seems an okay looking camera module here. It does certainly protrude a bit right there, as you can see. Now, when you look here at the display, 7.95 inches gives us a lot of space here. Everything seems very smooth. The crease, you can barely see this. Now, they're calling it truly creaseless. Well, running my finger over it, you can just feel it. And at certain angles with the light, you can see it there, but about there, it sort of disappears. And when you're using it face on, you really don't notice that crease. And that's when you could say, okay, yeah, it's creaseless when you have it straight at you when you are looking at it. So looking at it, the camera right here, the inner camera, 20 megapixels, outer camera, this is also 20 megapixels there at the front. And we have a 6.43 inch screen. Now this has their anti-scratch nano crystal shield, it's called, on front of that. It did come with a pre-applied screen protector. There was a bubble under it, and that sort of really bugs me, so I ended up pulling that off. Now, IP58 here, so it's got improved dust resistance. and IP59 with it. And it's got this super steel hinge. Now that hinge, as I mentioned, it feels really good. The spine on the back has no branding, and it looks really nice in this matte finish, the gold there. And as I said, it's just quality. The whole thing feels like absolute quality. Very solid. It does not feel cheap. It does not feel flimsy at all, that hinge. And when you close it, it gives that nice book kind of closed noise. Of course, magnets hold that screen together there. And there's a slight gap. So if you have a grain of sand in there, the screens there should not be touching. Of course, you do have to be a little bit more careful with foldable phones. And I can see with our UI, which of course is Magic OS, I don't know the version yet. None of that's all confirmed, but that'll be up and coming in the future. And like it always is with the layout, that you have all your widgets, your apps on this side too, that when you do open it, they're going to be on the left, and whatever you have on the right will be there as well. So when you close it, you're going to see those apps there. It's all pretty straightforward, and it does work well. And once you get used to that, and of course, typing on the keyboard and everything, going to be fantastic. Response to touch, I can tell you these things here do seem to be very, very good. It all seems to respond really quick. Great, stunning looking bright screen. The nits, the refresh rate, unfortunately, yes, you know what I'm about to say. Can't get into that, unfortunately, just yet. Now, one thing I can test out here too is, will it have wireless charging? I think it might not have wireless charging because it's so thin. They probably wouldn't be able to fit the inductor in there, right? Let's have a look. It doesn't. Okay, yes, all right, cool. Wireless charging is supported, which is very good considering how thin it is. I really thought they would have probably dropped that on her. So that's it. I know, it's not enough. Trust me, it's very frustrating. Not for just you guys, but also us. I would love to bring you more information, give you some camera samples, talk about battery life, show you benchmarks, the usual kind of treatment, but that will be coming shortly. There's not going to be too much of a wait for that. Now, I think compared to the Magic V3, which is fantastic, that's one of my favorite foldables from last year. I think it is definitely right up there as one of the best. This feels even more refined, I know, as expected, but the hinge, so much better, I think. And just the build, it does feel a little bit more solid. Now, a lot of people think that foldables are very flimsy, fragile devices that you need to handle with absolute care. It's like any phone. If you drop it, it's going to leave a mark, a dent. You could crack the front screen, of course, but that's with any other phone there. They really are almost about the same level, and it does not feel flimsy. So when you open that screen up, it feels very good. There's no creaking. There's no adhesive noises, nothing that feels like, oh, friction, that hinge is going to be failing in a year's time. No, it really does feel very, very good what they've been able to do here. So 217 grams, I think is a very good weight for this. And you can see now the limiting factor that I talked about, the Type-C port. I think they might be able to shave off maybe another millimeter on the thickness when open. And even that would be, no, not a millimeter, when closed, sorry. Because you still need reinforcements around the Type-C port, because otherwise it will be very easy just to accidentally break that if the cable was bent when you placed it down or something. So I really think they are at the absolute limits on how thin they can get these foldables. I honestly don't see them to be able to squeeze too much more out of it. Maybe the weight as tech improves, different materials, but really fantastic, so light, and this is unfortunately all I can really say about the unit here. But Snapdragon 8 Elite, so you know the performance is going to be very good, but what about throttling? Okay, again, will be covered in that final video. And the silicon carbon battery, good looking capacity there too and everything. So looking like, I think we're going to have possibly the new champ for 2025 when it comes to foldables. Thank you so much for watching this early little unboxing sneak peek preview here of the Magic V5. There'll be more coming, and a lot more, the full proper review.